Asia Wilson has been making headlines over the past few weeks, particularly in relation to Caitlin Clark. While Caitlin Clark is enjoying her offseason by balancing high-profile speaking engagements and appearances alongside legends like David Letterman, as well as taking well-deserved time off from basketball after an exhausting rookie season, a peculiar pattern has emerged that circles back to one name: Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson finds herself at the center of the situation involving Caitlin Clark once again, following the public revelation of Clark's record-breaking $100,000 virtual speaking fee. A tweet highlighting a curious leak from Wilson's camp has sparked whispers of jealousy and pettiness. The internet quickly took notice, with fans questioning why Wilson felt the need to insert herself into the conversation once more. Is this a calculated move to keep up with Clark's growing popularity? Or is it another example of Wilson's privilege rubbing people the wrong way? The internet is buzzing, and the comparisons are both brutal and hilarious. The dynamic between these two WNBA stars has become a focal point of discussion. The trend of women seemingly hating on Caitlin Clark appears to be real and pervasive among several WNBA stars, especially when it comes to making headlines. Caitlin Clark manages to do this effortlessly, especially after a historic rookie season with the Indiana Fever, where she led her team to their first playoff berth since 2016. Clark's star power has only grown, but what makes her truly remarkable is how she's dominating the offseason, not with dramatic announcements or flashy endorsements, but with quiet, impactful moves that reflect her unique blend of talent and character. Clark emphasizes that leadership involves approaching every individual differently, understanding that each person comes from a different background and has unique needs. She believes that building relationships is crucial to her success, which requires time and genuine effort. This approach has allowed her to cultivate a reputation for being a thoughtful and effective leader both on and off the court. In the offseason, Clark has turned her voice into a powerful tool, captivating audiences at corporate events, charity galas, and educational forums. She's not just playing basketball, she's shaping conversations about leadership, resilience, and health. Her $100,000 fee for a 30-minute virtual session has set a new standard, earning her more from speaking engagements than her entire WNBA rookie salary of about $76,500. Despite the steep price tag, her schedule is fully booked, featuring headlining events with business icons and even a recent appearance with David Letterman. Caitlin Clark has become a face of inspiration far beyond the court. She's balanced this whirlwind of appearances with pro-am golf tournaments, community initiatives, and off-season training, all while remaining laser-focused on what matters most: taking care of her health and preparing for the future. In recent interviews, she admitted, "I need a break from basketball. Basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to reflect back on everything that's happened. I want to take some time for myself and really enjoy that and reflect back." This focus on balance has only amplified her appeal. Fans adore her not just for her skills but for her humility and sense of perspective. She's proof that you don't need to court controversy to command attention. While Caitlin seems content to let her actions speak for themselves, not everyone has been able to stay quiet. As Caitlin settled into her offseason groove, whispers of a brewing one-sided rivalry began to ripple through the WNBA world. A series of suspiciously timed leaks hinted at jealousy and competition. And while Caitlin herself has stayed above the fray, one particular WNBA star seems determined to pull her into the spotlight. What happens when Asia Wilson, a reigning MVP, suddenly enters the narrative with a curious leak? Is this an innocent coincidence or something far more calculated? Let's unpack the drama. Asia Wilson is currently back in the headlines after a new surface. She's charging $100,000 for speaking events, positioning herself alongside Caitlin Clark's off-season showcase of poise and professionalism. While Clark seamlessly blends speaking engagements, golf appearances, and well-earned rest, Wilson has found herself in the headlines not for her accomplishments, but for a curious leak about her speaking fee. A viral tweet claimed that Wilson charges a whopping $110,000 for 30 minutes of virtual appearances, sparking an immediate storm of debate online. At first glance, this seemed like a standard celebrity flex, but the timing was too convenient to overlook. This reveal came just days after Clark's $100,000 speaking fee became public knowledge. Clark's appearances showcased her marketability and discipline, but Wilson's alleged fee was met with skepticism and, frankly, a few eye rolls. Fans questioned why Wilson was highlighting her fee, especially since her reasons were far more generic compared to Clark's focused and meaningful engagements. Social media users quickly noticed the pattern. Why did this leak come right after Clark's headlines? One fan sarcastically commented, "It's like Asia Wilson has an alarm set to whenever Caitlin Clark is mentioned." The undertone and reactions were clear. Fans saw this as yet another attempt to redirect the spotlight onto Wilson. Asia Wilson is often criticized as the queen of delusion, perceived as someone who constantly seeks attention and validation through high-profile moves that seem out of touch with the average fan's expectations. But wait, there's more. Remember when both Wilson and Clark declined offers from Unrivaled, the new 3-on-3 basketball league? Clark's decision came with well-documented reasons: her focus on self-care after a grueling year and her preference for staying off the court during the offseason. On the other hand, Wilson's camp quickly leaked that her offer was even bigger than Clark's, despite her reasons being far more generic. One fan aptly pointed out, "Nobody asked Asia. You could have just said no and kept it moving." This sentiment resonated with many, as fans felt that Wilson's actions were unnecessary and self-serving. This isn't just about speaking fees or Unrivaled, it's a pattern. Wilson's Nike shoe launch saw delayed releases for other athletes, sparking chatter about preferential treatment. Her winning isn't for everyone, and her actions have often been seen as calculated attempts to stay relevant in a landscape dominated by Clark's humility and authenticity. Caitlin Clark has said nothing about Wilson, never hinted at a rivalry, and continues to focus on her own path. Yet, Wilson's consistent attempts to one-up her paint a starkly different picture. Fans are making their opinions loud and clear. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we appreciate you. Now, back to the action. What do you think? Don't piss me off. If the leak aimed to boost Wilson's standing, it only highlighted something fans have been grumbling about for years: privilege. While there's no denying Wilson's talent and her accolades speak for themselves, her approach to fame and competition has often drawn mixed reactions. This latest stunt has only added fuel to the fire. Let's start with the infamous Nike shoe launch. Remember when Wilson's signature line took center stage, reportedly delaying releases for other players? For fans, it wasn't just about the sneakers. It was a metaphor for how Wilson's career has been positioned as untouchable. The phrase "privilege on display" trended on X, formerly Twitter, with one user quipping, "When you're Asia, the world waits even when it doesn't want to." Fortunately, Nike signed a woman to build a brand around icons like Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, is experiencing a different trajectory. In the early Clark era, Nike stock has tanked, and the CEO was recently ousted. Clark gained fame around 2022, and if you want to buy her shoe, you might have to wait until 2026 or 2027. The privilege narrative extends beyond branding. For many, the leaked speaking fee comparison and the unrivaled salary were the final straw. While Clark quietly built her brand on authenticity and performance, Wilson's moves often feel calculated to command attention, whether it's needed or not. As one fan noted, "Clark inspires without trying, a Wilson tries too hard and misses every time." Perhaps the biggest takeaway is the growing gap in how fans perceive these two stars. Clark's grounded, team-focused persona continues to win hearts, while Wilson's calculated moves often leave fans questioning her motives. As this latest backlash shows, the audience isn't buying it anymore. Asia Wilson reminds many of individuals who are not about genuine connection. Fans feel that Wilson knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point and also recognizes her basketball skills. However, her over-the-top approach in certain areas feels disingenuous. For instance, when discussing Unrivaled, its debut season was supposed to revolutionize women's basketball, but losing both Caitlin Clark and Wilson left the league scrambling. Built on promises of elite talent and groundbreaking equity stakes, the league's marketing efforts leaned heavily on star power. Now, that foundation is crumbling. Throughout the year, WNBA players have been demanding credit for elevating the league. Angel Reese, along with other players, claimed that their pretend friends in the mainstream media wanted to keep all the credit for themselves while downplaying the impact of the only star in the league, Caitlin Clark. The roster was built as a spectacle, yet it turned into a glaring disappointment. The empty wildcard slots, meant to tease Clark and Wilson's potential involvement, were seen as desperate attempts to ride their names without firm commitment. Memes flooded social media mocking Unrivaled for overhyping what it didn't deliver. One viral post summed it up. You can't call it unrivaled when it's just unmet expectations. Caitlin Clark's rejection of the offer cemented her reputation as a player with clear priorities. She didn't need Unrivaled to bolster her brand. Her packed schedule and meteoric rise speak for themselves. By walking away, she proved that sometimes less is more. Fans celebrated her decision, with one noting, Caitlin didn't just reject the offer, she elevated herself above the noise. On the other hand, Wilson's approach painted a starkly different picture. While the leak about her supposed higher offer grabbed headlines, it also reinforced narratives about privilege and opportunism. Fans were quick to point out the contrast between the two stars, with one user on X remarking, Clark's silence speaks volumes. Wilson's leaks just feel loud and unnecessary. Caitlin Clark emphasizes being the best person and teammate, focusing on how she can get the best out of her team. She prioritizes personal growth and team cohesion over individual accolades. In contrast, Wilson's actions often appear self-serving and attention-seeking. This fundamental difference in approach has significant implications for their public personas and fan support. For Unrivaled, the fallout is more than just a PR nightmare, it's an existential crisis. Without its two marquee names, the league faces an uphill battle to convince fans and players of its credibility. Analysts are skeptical about its ability to draw crowds and attention without cornerstone talent like Clark. Even Angel Reese, one of the league's few remaining headliners, now faces the unenviable task of carrying its debut season on her shoulders. As the 2025 season looms, one thing is clear. The story of Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson isn't just about basketball, it's about what it takes to truly win over fans. The dust has settled for now, and Caitlin Clark's decision to gracefully decline Unrivaled has left a lasting impression on fans not just for what she said, but for what she didn't. She let her actions do the talking, prioritizing her well-being and career over short-term gains. Her humility, focus, and ability to stay above the fray have solidified her as a generational figure in women's basketball. In contrast, Wilson's leaked narratives have raised more questions than answers. Why did her team feel the need to highlight her offer, especially in the wake of Clark's quiet refusal? It seemed like a play for relevance rather than a genuine statement. The backlash has been swift, with fans calling out what they see as an unnecessary grab for attention. For Unrivaled, the failure to secure its dream stars has been a humbling experience. The league now faces the monumental task of proving its worth without the two names that could have defined its debut season. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear. Credibility cannot be built on hype alone. As we look toward the 2025 WNBA season, the stark contrast between Clark's rise and Wilson's narrative leaves us with valuable lessons about leadership, humility, and the power of authenticity. Clark's trajectory shows that true greatness isn't just about what happens on the court, it's about how you carry yourself off it. While Wilson's story continues to unfold, the public's patience may be wearing thin. Will Wilson course correct, or will the privileged narrative persist? Ultimately, the narrative surrounding Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson highlights a broader conversation about the nature of fame, authenticity, and leadership in sports. Clark embodies a model of quiet strength and genuine connection, earning her a loyal fanbase that admires her both for her athletic prowess and her off-court demeanor. Wilson, while undeniably talented, struggles to resonate in the same way due to perceptions of entitlement and self-promotion. As the WNBA continues to grow and evolve, the stories of its stars will play a crucial role in shaping the league's identity and public perception. Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson are at the forefront of this narrative, each representing different facets of what it means to be a modern athlete. Their interactions, whether perceived as rivalry or mutual respect, will influence how fans engage with the league and its players. In conclusion, the ongoing saga between Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson serves as a microcosm of larger themes in sports and society. It underscores the importance of authenticity, the impact of personal branding, and the delicate balance athletes must maintain between self-promotion and genuine connection with their audience. As fans and observers, it's essential to recognize these dynamics and appreciate the multifaceted roles that athletes play both on and off the field. As we move forward, the lessons from Clark and Wilson's experiences will undoubtedly inform future interactions and decisions within the WNBA, whether it's about negotiating speaking fees, managing public personas, or balancing personal and professional lives. Their stories offer valuable insights into the complexities of modern sportsmanship and leadership. What do you think about the dynamic between Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson? Do you see it as a healthy rivalry, or is it indicative of deeper issues within the WNBA? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out on our latest content. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.